Society today doesn't really respect the kind-hearted. It values those who know how to fight for their interests and win. You might think that treating people with an open heart means they'll always remember your kindness. But you're wrong. Sometimes being polite and courteous is seen by others as a sign of weakness. If you give someone an inch, they'll take a mile. People step all over you like a doormat. You've got to let go of that weak aura, otherwise people will always control you. This isn't about doing something wrong. It's about breaking those good kid rules you were taught growing up. Wake up. That's the first step to being tough. Cast away the disease of being too nice. Build yourself a presence that's hard to push back. Make your goal the master your emotions, the servant. The strongest people focus only on the goal in their sights. If the goal isn't reached yet, it doesn't matter what else is falling apart. They don't quit. Don't waste time explaining yourself. Feelings alone bring no value. Don't abandon your goals just to avoid upsetting people. Let emotions stay in their lane. Let work stay in its lane, and put all your energy toward your target. This is the real truth right here. Remember, your story should become your purpose. Other people's moods aren't your responsibility. Act first, figure things out later. Don't wait for the perfect setting. Those folks waiting around for the stars to align, they'll be waiting forever, letting opportunities pass them by. The tough ones shoot first aim later. They may not know perfection, but they do the job learning and refining as they go. Just like a seasoned warrior in battle, they make the first move and adjust on the fly, beating those who are still getting ready. In today's world, the issue isn't about being harsher or cruel. It's about daring to be in control of your own life. True strength isn't about trampling others. It's about knowing when to smile and when to draw the line. In a world that worships strength, being gentle isn't virtue anymore. It's an open invitation for people to push your limits. Society only respects those who set boundaries. It doesn't pity those who suffer quietly. We've been taught that stepping back means the sky's the limit. But real life doesn't reward those who always retreat. Every time you give way, others step forward. Every time you stay silent, people encroach more. One day you'll find yourself backed into a corner and wonder how it happened. To the opportunist, kindness isn't virtue, it's a sign that the road is easy. They spot your good nature and treat it as a weakness to exploit. A coworker might take credit for your work and call it a misunderstanding. A friend leans on you when they need help but disappears when you're in trouble. A family member might control every step you take under the guise of sacrifice. This world doesn't respect the endurer. It respects those who demand and defend boundaries. If you can't protect yourself, you can't protect anything else. You weren't born to be anyone's stepping stone. Now let's dive even deeper into the mindset and skills of someone who plays life by their own rules, the truly resilient. Strength is a survival skill, not a flaw. It doesn't mean you're cruel. It means you stop letting others walk over you. Weak people often confuse nobility with submission. They think staying silent is a virtue that always yielding shows maturity. But underneath, it's just fear, hiding behind a mask of ethics. Being tough means saying no when you need to, stepping away from relationships that leave you drained, refusing unfair demands, and defending yourself without feeling guilty about it. Society will tell you not to be too extreme, but really, it just wants easier control over you. Don't be afraid of being disliked. Only the colorless are loved by everyone. When you can handle other people's disapproval, you stop being anyone's easy target. The weak fear losing favor, the strong fear losing direction. That's why the world only respects one of these two. A strong person makes their goal the master and lets emotions serve. Feelings don't create value, actions do. The strong don't care what others think of them. They measure progress by steps forward, not others' opinions. True power isn't in muscle or status, it's in ruthless self-discipline. The weak wait for the right moment, afraid of mistakes, not feeling ready, scared of failure. But ready is an illusion. The tough act now learn as they go and adjust after the fact. Successful entrepreneurs never really know the market, they just move faster than everybody else. A gutsy leader isn't the best, they're simply the one who decides while others hesitate. That's why history remembers those who took action, not those who prepared and waited. When you let goals command and emotions obey, fear becomes background noise. Discipline is freedom, and the freest are those who control themselves. Being tough means picking your battles wisely. Not everyone deserves your time, and not every fight is worth your blood. The truly strong know this. They choose meaningful fights, worthwhile people, purposeful paths. They spend their time with 3 groups: those who help them grow, those they can work with, and family and friends they genuinely value. The rest, they simply ignore. No pointless debates, no over-explaining, no justifying themselves. Let people dislike or misunderstand you. Your energy is too precious to waste on making others see you correctly. The resilient prove themselves by results, not by being liked. Don't fear rejection. Don't shy away from being cold. Being cold isn't about lacking emotion, it's about preserving resources for what matters. You don't need to please anyone, you need to do what's right. Your calm confidence makes others wary, then respectful. Tough, yes. Heartless, no. There's a big mistake in thinking power equals cruelty. The truth is, being tough isn't about stepping over anyone, it's about not letting anyone step over you. People who are truly tough control their power. They use strength not to hurt, but to set healthy boundaries for themselves and their loved ones. They're ruthless only with their own weakness, fair to those above and below, and never forget the responsibility that comes with authority. This kind of discipline and clarity is a higher moral ground. Self-control means you don't need anyone's pity. You live not to be loved, but to be respected. Real resilience doesn't require yelling to prove oneself. Steady eyes, few words, clear actions, that's what makes people take notice. You can lose a battle but never be defeated. Strength is knowing that victory isn't about beating anyone. It's about never being controlled. At its core, resilience isn't about aggression, it's about absolute self-mastery. If you rule your feelings, time, and energy, you're ahead of most people around you. The weak live by feelings, the strong live by principles. Weak folks fear being disliked, tough ones fear being useless. When storms come, only the resilient stay standing. Most of us are born tender not because we're incapable, but because society teaches obedience before strength. We grow up being told to never argue with elders, to always be agreeable, and that everyone will like us if we're nice. These sound ethical, but they're invisible chains that bind your spirit. The first step to strength isn't fighting back, it's realizing you don't owe anyone your compliance. You weren't born to please the crowd. You were born to walk your own path, even if it means walking alone. Change your mindset. Break habits that make you weak. Strength starts in your thinking. The softest part of anyone isn't the body, it's the mind. Quit apologizing when you're not wrong. Apologizing for nothing is a form of psychological surrender. Drop the need for praise. Compliments are like a drug. The more addicted, the easier you're manipulated. The strong don't need praise, they need real growth. Forget the fear of disappointing others. You weren't born to live up to someone else's expectations. They get disappointed only because they imagine you fit their narrative. Leave their story behind and rewrite your own. Every time you reject an expectation, you reclaim some freedom. Every time you stop pleasing others, you're reestablishing your own sovereignty. Toughness is unpredictable, serene, and hard to sway. The weak are easy to read. One nice word makes them happy. One criticism brings them down. The strong keep a cool face and a clear mind. No one can tell when they're angry or joyful. That mystery is your shield. Stay secretive, protect your energy, and remain steady whether people are praising or criticizing you. If you master this, you own the most dangerous weapon: total self-control. Live by the rules of the clear-minded, strict discipline, sharp will. Speak little, act more. Actions are the true language of the resilient. Never promise unless you're sure you can deliver. Promises can cut both ways. Don't look for agreement, look for truth. The tough don't need crowds to affirm them, they let the results do the talking. Own your feelings like a cold, bright warrior. They can feel anger, but never lose control, suffer pain, but never give up. Discipline is the only thing separating the strong from the dreamers. You don't have to be the smartest or the most gifted. If you are determined and steady, you'll go further than most. Weak people get dragged by emotions. Clear-headed people use emotion as fuel, but never let it steer. Like a fighter on the battlefield, silent, focused, unbeatable. After reshaping your mind, honing your character, and enforcing discipline, you realize that strength isn't loudness. It's quiet defiance in the face of threats. No one respects the eternally yielding. No one looks down on those who stand tall. True resilience means knowing when to strike and when to be silent. Don't waste time explaining yourself to those who don't want to understand. Let results speak. Self-control is the peak of strength. When you truly know yourself, you don't need outside validation. Know your worth. Don't beg for respect. When you reach that point, being strong means not harming others you don't need to. Lowering others doesn't make you higher. You protect your boundaries so nothing and no one can trample what you value. The weak always hope the world will pity them. The strong make themselves immune to pity, knowing that only by being tough can they truly be kind. Kindness comes from freedom of choice, not from fear. As you become the master of your life, the world around you changes. Those who used to belittle you keep their distance. Those who exploited you become cautious. They don't fear you hurting them, they just know they can't control you anymore. That is the purest form of respect people can give each other. True strength isn't the loudest person in the room. It's the one who doesn't need to prove anything. They move quietly with sharp eyes and calm confidence, and just their presence forces others to reconsider and adjust. That's when you'll see that kindness is a privilege, and only the strong have the power to hold on to it. This world doesn't need complaints. It only listens to those with weight and substance. Don't ask for respect. Command it. Toughness isn't cruelty. It's knowing when to be cold, when to be gentle. Walk like you know your own value. No shouting required. You don't need to be nasty, just tough enough that no one dares challenge your dignity. In this society, the respected aren't the kind-hearted. They're the ones just cold enough to resist being swallowed up, but clear-headed enough not to turn wild.